Hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect. So in this video we are going to understand how to use Klaviyo for recovering failed Instamojo payments automatically. So are you also selling your products with the help of the Instamojo account? Then this video is definitely for you. So over here I'm doing the same. I'm running a store specializing in organic skincare products and we use Instamojo to sell our products. But now what I want is that as soon as a new payment gets failed in my Instamojo account, which is suppose a customer adds a product into the cart but somehow the payments get failed and not successful. So automatically with the help of the same details, a new profile should be created in my Klaviyo account and that particular profile should be added in a particular list in my Klaviyo account so that I can create targeted email marketing campaigns for all of these. So to do this we are going to create a connection between Instamojo and Klaviyo. To create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So do you also wish to learn this process step by step? Then let me take you to my computer screen. Welcome to my screen. So as you know, in this video we are going to understand how to create a Klaviyo subscriber on failed Instamojo payment. So as you know that I'm running an online store specializing in organic skincare products and occasionally customers experience failed payments during checkout. Suppose someone's card got expired or there's a network issue so the payment gets failed. So now to ensure that we don't lose these potential sales, I want to create this automation. So what I want is that as soon as a new failed payment is done or as soon as a payment gets failed in the Instamojo, automatically with the help of the same details, a new subscriber should be created in my Klaviyo and that subscriber should be added in a list right over here in my Klaviyo account, which is the list for failed Instamojo payments, so that I can create targeted email marketing campaigns for them. So by automating this process, we turn a failed payment into opportunity to re-engage the customer, reduce the lost sale and maintain the strong communication with our audience. So to do this, I have successfully opened the landing page of Pabbly simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. It is very easy. So as soon as we're going to open the landing page of Pabbly, we are going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you're a new user, you can click on sign up for free and you are going to get 100 of stars free every month. But I'm an existing user, so I'm going to click on sign in right over here. And as soon as we are going to click on sign in, you can see that now it is opening all Pabbly apps. Over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So now I'm going to click on access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connects account. And now it is opening my dashboard. And to start with the automation, we are going to click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So I want to save the workflow in this folder which says automations and I want to name my workflow as how to create Klaviyo subscriber on failed Instamojo payment, and then we are going to click on create. And as soon as we are going to click on create, it is opening the most important window of our automation. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the trigger is the commander for the workflow and actions follow the commands. And as you know that we can have only a single commander but multiple followers. So over here we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger. So now to start with the automation, we are going to select our trigger application. So for the trigger application, we are going to select it as Instamojo because I want that as soon as a new payment gets failed in my Instamojo account, automatically my workflow should be triggered. So I'm going to search for Instamojo V2 and as you can see the same, so we are going to select it. And now for the trigger event, we are going to select it as failed payment because we are going to create this automation for this only. And as soon as we are going to select this, you can see that now it is giving me a webhook URL. So we're going to use this same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Instamojo account and our Pabbly's workflow. So what we are going to do is we are going to copy this webhook URL and then we are going to follow this help text and it is saying log into your Instamojo account, create a new page or select the existing one. Navigate to the page settings. So we have to open our Instamojo account and as you can see that this is my Instamojo account and I've already logged in it. So it is always advised to log in your applications before starting with the automation automation, it makes the procedure easy. And now after opening my Instamojo account, what we have to do is I'm going to show you the pages that I've created. Over here you can see that these are the pages that I've created, but I'm going to create this automation for this page, which is herbal face mask. So to do this, we are going to go on these three dots and then we are going to go on edit page. And as soon as we're going to go on edit page, it is showing me the page settings right over here in the left side bar. To go on page settings, and as soon as we're going to go on the page settings, again from the left side bar we have to go on webhook, and as you can see, add webhook right over here. So we are going to switch on this button, and as soon as we are going to switch on this button, it is saying enter the webhook URL. So we are going to paste the URL we copied from our workflow, and now it is saying information to be sent. So over here we are going to select it as failed payments because I want only the details of the failed payment should be sent to my workflow. So I've selected it, and then we are going to click on save and update, and again we are going to click on yes, save and update. I'm going to update this, and yes, you can see that we have successfully edited this, and now we are going back to our workflow. And yes, this means that we have successfully created a connection between our Instamojo account and our Pabbly's workflow. But as you can see that now it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webhook response, we have to do a test submission, and in order to do the test submission, what we are going to do is we are going to open our Instamojo, and from here we are going to go on view page. So I'm going to do the test submission for this herbal face mask. So I'm going to click on pay now right from here, and now for the first name I'm going to keep it as demo, last name as user, email as demo@pabblytudes.com, and for the phone number we are going to enter a phone number right over here, which is this. And now after entering the phone number, we are going to click on add delivery information. We are going to enter the address as New Street, City, Bhopal. This is the pin code and the state, and then we are going to click on proceed to pay. But we are not going to make a successful payment, we are going to do the failed payment right over here. So I'm going to select credit / debit card right over here. I'm going to enter a dummy card number, dummy expiry, and the dummy CVV. So I'm going to enter all of this and click on pay 9. So as soon as we are going to do this and click on pay 9, as you can see that this is the dummy card, so it is saying payment failed. So let's suppose that my customer's card got expired, or they entered the incorrect CVV, or there's a network problem with the payment method, so the payment got failed. So I'm going to get the details of all these payments then also in my workflow. So what we have to do is that yes, you can see that we have successfully did the test submission and the payment got failed. So now this means that Instamojo has sent the details of this failed payment to our workflow. So I'm going to open my workflow and check that if Pabbly has captured the response or not. So I'm going to open my workflow right from here, and as you can see that yes, Pabbly has captured response A, so I'm going to look for it, and as you can see payment status failure. So yes, the payment got failed like we did, so I'm going to look for the details that we entered. Over here you can see the address that we entered, which is New Street, Bhopal, India. You can see the pin code and the state. Also you can see the product, which is herbal face mask, and the amount. So I'm going to look for the customer details, and as you can see buyer's name, buyer's phone, and the email. So these are the same details that we entered. So yes, we have successfully received the response of our failed payment in our Instamojo account. So this means that our trigger step is successful. And now we are going to move on to our action step. So now for the action application, what I'm going to select is Klaviyo. So I'm going to search for Klaviyo right over here because I want to create a new subscriber in my Klaviyo account as soon as a new Instamojo payment got failed. So I'm going to search for it, and as you can see Klaviyo V2, so we are going to select it, and as soon as we are going to select it, it is saying action event. So for the action event, first we are going to create a profile, and then we are going to add that profile to a particular list, which is Instamojo failed payments. So first we have to create the profile, so I'm going to click on create profile as my action event, and then we are going to click on connect, and as soon as we are going to click on connect, you can see add a new connection or select the existing connection. So if you have already connected your Klaviyo V2 account with your Pabbly's workflow, you can click on select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection and then connect with Klaviyo V2. And as soon as we are going to do this, it is asking me for the revision, so I'm going to select it as same only, and then we are going to click on save. And as soon as we are going to click on save, you can see that it is asking me for some permissions. So I'm going to click on continue right over here. We are going to select the account of which you want to give the permissions, and as you can see, all the permissions Pabbly is asking for. So I'm going to click on allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for because my data is secure with Pabbly. You can also click on allow, Pabbly is safe, and as soon as we are going to click on allow, you can see that we have successfully connected our Klaviyo V2 account with our Pabbly's workflow. Over here you can see connected, and now it is asking me for the email address. So we are going to map the email address. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Instamojo as our trigger application. So we are going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only. And as soon as we are going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received in my Instamojo account. So I'm going to give you an example that now it is asking me for the email address. So suppose I'm going to enter the email address right over here manually by typing like demo@pabblytunes.com. So suppose I'm going to enter it like this manually, then this will not change with every new response received because this is a static information and I've entered it manually. But if we are going to map it from the previous response, I'm going to look for the email right over here, and as you can see the email. So if you are going to map it from the previous response, then yes, this will definitely change because my previous response will also change. So that's why we do mapping right over here to run our workflow in real time. So we are going to map the phone number too. So I'm going to search for phone right over here, and as you can see the phone number, so we are going to map it. We are going to move on forward. It is asking me for the external ID. So as you can see that this is not the required field, so I'm going to leave it as blank, and we don't have the details of a client also for the same field, so I'm going to leave it as blank. We are going to enter the first name and the last name. So I'm going to search for it, and as you can see the name is in the full name like demo user. It is not separated like first name and last name. So to separate this, you have to add another action step right over here between the trigger and Klaviyo. So I'm going to add it right over here to get the full name separated into first name and last name. So for the action application, we are going to select it as text formatter by Pabbly. So it is a feature by Pabbly which helps you to format the text. And now for the action event, we are going to select it as split text because I want to split the full name into first name and last name. And then we are going to click on connect, and now it is asking me for the text to split. So here we are going to enter the full name. So we are going to map it. You have to keep in mind that you have to map this too. I'm going to search for name, and as you can see demo user, so we are going to map this. And now it is asking me for the separator, and in the help text you can see that it is saying enter the characters or word separators to split the text. For separator space, use this. So we are going to use this because we want space as a separator. So I'm going to copy this, and same we are going to paste it right over here manually. And then we are going to move on forward. It is asking me for the segment index. So I'm going to select it as all because I want all the text right over here. And then I'm going to click on save and send test request. And as soon as we are going to do this, you can see result demo user. So yes, we have successfully split it our full name into first name and last name. So now we are going to map this same right over here in our Klaviyo also. I'm going to map the first name from the response of the text formatter by Pabbly. Over here you can see the demo, and same we are going to do for the last name, map it from the text formatter response user. So yes, we have successfully did this first name, last name, and now it is asking me for the organization, title, image. So as you can see, all of these are not the required fields, and we don't have these details also, so I'm going to leave it as blank. If you wish, you can definitely fill these out. And now we are going to enter the address, so I'm going to look for it, and as you can see new street, so we are going to map this. We are going to move on forward. We are going to map the city. I'm going to search for it, and as you can see Bhopal, so we are going to map it. We are going to map the country too. I'm going to search for it, and as you can see country India, so we are going to map it right over here. We are going to move on forward. It is asking me for more details. We are going to leave it as blank. Directly we are going to map the zip code, so I'm going to search for the code, and as you can see the code, so we are going to map it too. Over here you can see the same. We are going to move on forward. You can see that it is asking me for the time zone, IP and keys. So again we are going to leave it as blank because all of these are not the required fields. And after doing all the details we want to enter, we are going to click on save and send test request. And as soon as we are going to click on save and send test request, you can see that we have received the positive response that with the help of this email address, we have created a new profile in our Klaviyo. So I'm going to open my Klaviyo and check for the new profile created. So I'm going to open my Klaviyo right from here, and we are going to go on profiles, and as you can see that we have created a new profile, name demo user. Over here you can see the email demo@pabblytunes.com. over here you can see the phone number too, and also you can see the location that we entered. So yes, with this we have successfully completed this action step, but now we are going to add the same profile into a particular list over here. So that's why we are going to add another action step, and then for the action application, again we are going to select it as Klaviyo because I want to add that same profile into a particular list in my Klaviyo account. So I'm going to search for Klaviyo, and then we are going to select it. And now for the action event, we are going to select it as add profiles to list, and then we are going to click on connect. And as soon as we are going to click on connect, again you can see that it is asking me for the same. So yes, right now I connected my Klaviyo account, so I'm going to click on select existing connection and then save. And as soon as we are going to do this, you can see that we have successfully connected our Klaviyo account with our Pabbly's workflow. And now it is asking me for the list ID. ID. So over here you can see that I've created a list in my Klaviyo, which is this failed Instamojo payment. So I'm going to select the same right over here, which is failed Instamojo payment. And then for the profile ID, it is asking me to select one, but I'm not going to select this. We are going to map this because I want this field to be a dynamic one. So I'm going to switch on this mapping button right from here, and then we are going to map the profile ID from the response of our Klaviyo V2 create profile action step. And over here you can see that there's the data ID. So we are going to map this same right over here. So this is the profile ID which we have recently created, demo@pabblytudes.com profile. And now after mapping this, we are going to click on save and send test request. And as soon as we are going to click on save and send test request, yes, this is a positive response that we have successfully added this particular profile into our list, which is Instamojo failed payments. So I'm going to open my list right from here. As you can see that this is my list, I'm going to open this and look for the profile added. So as you can see that yes, the profile has been added right over here. Over here you can see the name, the email, the phone number that we entered, and also the location that we entered. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow. But I'll just test this workflow once, and this time I am going to give you a real-time example. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another test submission with the new details and check that if the profile gets added and created in my Klaviyo or not. So I'm going to open my Instamojo account right from here, and we are going to go back and do another test submission. So I'm going to click on pay now again, and now for the first name we are going to keep it as test, last name user, email as testuser@pabblytudes.com, and for the phone number I'm going to keep the phone number as this time. And now after entering all the details, we are going to click on add delivery information, and now for the information we are going to keep it as address as street 42, city as Indore, this is the pin code and the state. And then we are going to click on proceed to pay again, and again we are going to make this payment a failed one. For that I'm going to select credit/debit card. We are going to enter a dummy card number, dummy expiry, and the dummy CVV, and then we are going to click on pay in 9. So as this is a dummy card, so the payment will get failed automatically. And yes, you can see that it failed, and over here you can see that we have successfully did the test submission. And now what will happen is that Instamojo will send the details of our test submission to our workflow. Pabbly will capture the response, trigger the workflow, and further create a new profile in my Klaviyo, and also add that same profile into my list, which is failed payment Instamojo list. So I'm going to open my Klaviyo directly and check for the new profile created. And also we are going to check that if that profile has been added to the particular list or not. And this time we are not going back to our workflow and clicking on save and send test request. I'll directly open my Klaviyo right from here, and as soon as we are going to open the Klaviyo, we are going to go on profiles, and we are going to look for the new profile created. And yes, you can see profile test user. Over here you can see the email that we entered, the phone number that we entered, and also you can see the location, Indore, India. Over here you can see the pin code that we entered. So now what we are going to do is we are going to go on list and segments, and we are going to look for the profile added to our particular list, which is this failed Instamojo payment. So I'm going to open this list, and we are going to look that if the same profile has been added or not. And yes, you can see the profile has been added. Over here you can see the name, test user, the email, the phone number that we entered, and the same location. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, and I'll just summarize the workflow for you once. For the trigger application, we selected Instamojo. For the trigger event, we selected failed payment. For the action application, we selected text formatter by Pabbly because we wanted to split the full name into first name and last name. For the action application, we selected Klaviyo because we wanted to create a profile. And again, for the action application, we selected Klaviyo again because I wanted to add that same profile into a list. And yes, we were successful with our workflow. Over here, you can see the two profiles I added during this video with the help of my workflow to my list. So I created this automation because by automating this process, we can send follow-up emails offering assistance, alternative payment options, or even a special discount to encourage them to try again. And also by automating this, we can turn our failed payments into opportunity to re-engage the customer, reduce the lost sales, and also maintain strong communication with our audience. So yes, this was it for the video. So if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching. Not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly, you can integrate many more applications. So now, if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.